Hello, today I want to invite you to paint with me using wrong colors on purpose. Now, the reason why I decided to do this is, well, there are two reasons really. One, because I think it sounds fun and inspiring, and I hope it will just, motivate you to paint and try it for yourself and do something weird and think outside of the box. And the second reason is because by doing something wrong, by deciding already to like paint a little bit wrong, I feel like that will help you not judge your results, which is something that I'm struggling with, and I'm trying to find ways how not to focus on my performance and how the painting turns out in the end. So by already deciding to do something wrong, I feel like that will help me with my inner critic voice to like silence it a bit. So hopefully this will be fun. It will be easy paintings. So I hope you join me. So grab your paints and let's get started. So the first painting that we will do is a flower, a green flower, wet in wet. I decided on a green flower because, well, I've not really seen many green flowers. I think that's something a bit unexpected. So we will do it wet in wet, just to practice this technique. Now, just before we start, full disclaimer, I'm not that great, so I might mess up. So yeah, I hope if I do, you don't judge me, and I hope you will realize that, yeah, if you make mistakes, it's, everyone does. Kind of wanted to make like the petals shapes a little bit, but this looks terrible, doesn't it? I'm already sabotaging myself, and this is pulling too much. Anyway, that was supposed to be wet in wet, so I thought green flower with a center, a brown center, because centers are usually more vibrant. But before I add the center, I think I'm just going to pull the tendrils a little bit. Maybe I'll actually scratch in. I just kind of want to make it a little bit more interesting, I guess. I'm not sure how good this quality of this paper is. It's kind of drying already, which is not great. I often think when I mess up, I often used to judge myself and think like, oh God, I suck. But I have been using not great supplies for a long time. But before I carry on rambling, I need to do the center before it dries. I just quickly grab some brown. Okay, I need to try to mix it thick enough that it actually blends, but I think I'm losing weight, like the time is running out basically. Okay, that's not too bad, it's blending a little bit. So there we go. Here is the first flower. Now there's lots of different ways you can do it. Maybe we try another one, and I will lift a little bit. Lift some, with a tissue, lift some paint to kind of add some lighter patches. Let's try this. I don't really know what kind of shape of the petals I want to go for. I don't know. I've not really thought this through because I am focusing on the idea of using weird colors rather than planning what it is that I'm gonna do. So yeah, if it looks very unplanned and very messy, it's because it is. Okay, now I will grab a bit of a kitchen towel and lift a little bit, maybe from the top ones, so they look like they were touched by the sun a bit. Where else? A little bit here. I don't know. Does this look okay? Right, before it dries, let's just add the brown center again. Maybe a little darker. Okay, this one's spreading quite nicely and it's nice and a bit darker. I like this one. This one's not bad. I thought it would be way worse. It's lacking definition. I think when it dries, I will probably ink around it to make it prettier. Yeah, let's do that. I will have to wait for it to dry, so I'll be back. Okay, so this is almost dry now, so I'll need to be careful because, yeah, I have no patience and it hasn't fully dried yet. I'll be using my Faber-Castell Pitt pen. Yeah, this is my hack for when you don't like what you painted, which is most of the time for me, unfortunately. It's really not easy to be me. So I just add a bit of like draw around with the pen to just kind of add some interest and contrast. I try not to kind of draw completely around it. I add a bit of space, do it a bit kind of loosely, maybe add some little bit of, that doesn't really look that good, but who cares. There we go. Something like this, maybe a little bit more. Now I'm overdoing it, maybe. I don't know, what do you think? Was it better before? Anyway, this is my finished flower. I'm not sure I mentioned earlier, but when I was adding the brown, make sure that it's thicker, it's more pigmented than the paint that the first wash, because that's when it will blend. If it's not, if it's more watery, it will then kind of repel the paint and it will just not blend well. This is something that took me ages to actually figure out, that you need to add thicker paint. No, that doesn't matter what color, but it needs to be thicker. So yeah, make sure you do that if you want blending. Okay, let's move on to the next. So for this painting, I want to do a blue tree and a yellow trunk. That's it. That's the word I'm looking for. So I will use splatter for this. So what I'm going to start with is actually, I will splatter with water. My water is a little bit green, but it's okay. So just splatter randomly. This is going to be very, very random. And I'm just going to use different blues. Let me just turn this way. There we go. Different blues. I might actually need to grab another brush because this one, it's kind of harder for me to do it with the bigger one. But yeah, it's actually working okay for now. Now, isn't that lovely when it kind of touches the water? It just creates this lovely little sparkles. You can also help it along and just touch it with the brush. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to add a little bit more. Oh no, my turquoise is gone. Do I have any pale? I'll just make a pale mix, I guess. I want to add some pale one as well. There we go. Okay. And now I'll grab a smaller brush. I feel like it will make it easier. And I will start actually just going in a little bit. Maybe a bit stronger mix. There we go. Just kind of make it a bit more, add a bit more volume to it. Now I will use a very strong mix and just gently touch some of it, just to kind of blend, add even more contrast. There we go. Isn't it lovely how it spreads? Maybe a bit more thick mix, a bit more splatter. My desk is a mess, but that's okay. Okay, now I'm going to grab my smaller brush and I'll actually turn it upside down to do the trunk. Let me just clean this up a little bit. Okay. And now we need a yellow mix. I'll use Indian yellow or cadmium. I'll use cadmium yellow. Just feel like the yellow trunk is a fairly nice. Oh, of course I didn't clean. This is my problem all the time. I really have so little patience and I just don't clean my brushes very well. And then I end up polluting my colors. But hey, you live and don't learn. That's me. Okay, so I'm going to just go straight in. I'm not even going to like mix it up, or maybe a little bit. But yeah, I want a fairly thick one. And I'll just kind of almost draw it in. Just like a bit roughly. I'm okay if it touches. I want them to bleed a little bit, although this is a bit much, probably. Or do I I'll let it go. I'll let it go. It's fine. Some branches here and there. Is it too early? It might be a bit too early. Maybe I should have let it dry a little bit more. Kind of wanted a little bit of branches here and there. That looks really weird, doesn't it? I feel like it would be nice if I maybe use a darker yellow. Just create a bit of a shadow side. Where should I do it? I feel like light is more coming from this way. Just darken it here a little bit. Maybe like this here a little bit. And I will just soften the edge on this side and leave it like this on the other side. We'll see how that turns out. There we go, something like this. That's it. Not amazing, but so fun to paint because it's so weird. Okay, so for the next one, I was thinking to do a landscape, and I'm going to do red sky. Even though red sky is not necessarily that weird, but I kind of want to reverse the colors because normally we would like the distance, things in the distance will be blue, and the blue generally like is a color that recedes, that's the word, yeah. And the red one is the one that advances. So I feel like having a red sky will fight against that. So I'll have a red sky, green mountains, and blue grass. So that will create this tension, I hope. But I am a little bit nervous about this one because I don't consider myself as good with landscapes. But we will see. Again, my brush is not super clean. Story of my life. So I'm going to wet the paint quite well because I want to do a bit of like a gradient, and then I will add salt. I've done this as a when I was practicing doing some backgrounds. So I added salt and I actually tilted the paper and I let it dry this way. And I think I'm going to do it for this one as well because I wanted this sort of like a misty effect and stuff and a bit of movement. And I might even do it at an angle. I don't know if I'll be able to dry it this way. Yeah, that would be tricky. I would have to like, I'm sure I'll figure something out. Okay, anyway, let's just let this a little bit further down. I think that should hopefully, no, you know what, I'm just going to wet it all the way down just in case, because I haven't decided how much I will actually, how much of the sky I will do. I'm not sure. Okay, let's grab my alizarin crimson. Very nice strong red. I've got my salt and I'll start dropping it just at the top and let it spread. It's already doing pretty nicely. Should I let it spread like this? Should I go from here? Or am I messing it up too much? We'll find out. I'll just start dropping from here then. From the corner. Thicker and thicker as I go along. Okay, I feel like this is enough probably. And I will add salt. And I will need to find somewhere for it to dry. Just wanted to show you that I let it dry like this. And I'm also, from time to time, I'm just coming in to collect these like beads of water that have gathered. And look, it's already kind of starting to, the salt is starting to work. Okay, so my sky is now dry. Look how pretty it turned out. Now, if you're painting along with me, And if your results are not like this, if you know you've had some trouble, first of all, it's most likely not you. For example, it's generally easier to paint on a cotton paper. I've got Paul Rubens, I believe. What does it say? Oh, I'm reading here and I can't find. Yeah, there we go. Paul Rubens cotton paper. And also, some colors are just way harder to achieve this with. I actually have this swatch where I've tested different colors to see how they kind of react with salt. Like, for example, ultramarine violet was surprised about cerulean blue, but this one, it might have been actually my mistake here. I'm not sure. But for example, I remember cobalt blue, I just could not get it to work. So yeah, you know, different colors will produce different results. This is alizarin crimson, and as you can see, I knew that this will be likely something, you know, it will create quite strong results. Okay, so now let's move on to mountains. There are two ways we can paint them. I think I'm gonna go for the harder one, but that means I might mess up, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to use some of the greens. The easier way would be to just create a paler layer first, then the next layer a little bit darker, and you just kind of like overlay them like this. But what I vaguely remember seeing someone doing mountains, and they actually left a bit of like a white space in between them that suggested like a mist, and there was like this lovely transition, and kind of it added depth to it. I don't actually remember 100% how they did it. I don't think they were lifting with the tissue, but I think that's what I'm going to do. I think it was literally just maybe just dropping the paint and letting it spread and all that. But I will probably lift with the tissue because that way I will be able to control a little bit better where that mist is. But yeah, let's just try and see how we go. Okay, so I'm starting with a very pale green wash. Kind of wanted it to be a little bit less muddy. What have I got in my palette? Honestly, I can be so messy sometimes. This one is, yeah, oh, anyway, let's maybe, I do like Viridian. There we go. Maybe now it's getting a little bit too dark. Okay, I'm just gonna have to test it out just to see if it's not too dark. It's not too dark, but I don't necessarily like the color. Okay, never mind. I'm fussing. Let's just stop fussing. Now, one of my conundrums: do I paint over this white space? I think I'm not gonna. I think I'm going to just paint a little bit further, and I'm just going to gently do. Oh, I know what they did with the mist. They literally just cleaned the brush, and with a damper brush, just maybe I'll start from here. I think that's, oh, I shouldn't have done this. But I think that's literally what it was. Now the problem is though, like, look, it's kind of, I have two problems. One, it's not spreading, the water is, I added too much water and it's repelling the paint. It's not spreading evenly. So yeah, way easier to do it wrong. But I committed to it, so I'm going to carry on. Unfortunately, I'll have to wait for this to dry again, so I'll see you soon. Okay, so this way is almost dry, not fully dry because I have no patience, but I had time to reflect on what I think I've done wrong. So with the first wash, I kind of undid it. Okay, I'll explain it in a different way. What I probably should do is just end the wash on like one level, and then I use water to soften it at the bottom, because I kind of did this like did it at an angle. Now it kind of looks weird. So with the next one, I'll overlap it a little bit. I'll use a stronger mix, overlap it, then level it so that it kind of ends on the same like horizontal line, and then I'll soften it at the bottom. Let's see if that works. I will, so this is the mix that I used earlier. I will just make it a bit stronger, and I will also add a bit more vibrant Viridian, although it is clumping a lot, which is not helping. I will just test it just to see. I don't want it to make it too strong, but I don't want it to make it yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Although, what do you think? Is that too strong? Maybe a little. Oh, I can't make up my mind. Yeah, let's just go with it. Let's just go with it. Come on, it's okay. We're just practicing. Okay, so overlap. Blah. Okay, let's try again. Overlap the mountains in here, and then what I need to do is level it. I think. Right. And then clean the brush. Now, last time I think I left too much water. Right. Okay. Let's try gently soften it, and hopefully that will create this. There we go. That's looking a little better and a little bit more believable, maybe. I don't know. It's looking a bit boring, isn't it? I think I need to add a really way stronger one here, and then we're gonna do bluegrass, which I'm really excited for. Don't you love the sky though? I really love this movement. This is one thing that I recently discovered that I really like doing, is tilting the paper and adding movement. I just think, just imagine, this is the one that I did earlier. Just imagine if the sky was like this. Still not bad, but like this movement, just a bit more special, isn't it? But yeah, unfortunately I have to let this dry again, so we'll have to take another break. Okay, time for another layer of mountains. Probably the last one, but we will see how it turns out. Okay, I will do it fairly dark. I'm kind of running out of space. Maybe a little bit darker. Okay, that should be fine. Now I'm kind of a bit unsure how to do the transition to the blue one, but I'll just see how it goes. Let's just go in. Do I just leave it like that and then do the grass? I think that's what I'm gonna do. What do you think? Is it gonna mess it up? No, I'm just gonna leave it. I don't want to overthink it. But I still have to wait for it to dry, unless I might actually carry on with the grass already. I think I might do a dry brush with it, but I want to grab my like a flat brush like this, and let's figure out which blue. I don't know how this will turn out. There we go. I want to use a fairly thick. Just going to test it out on something. Do I have a scrap piece of paper somewhere? Oh, come on. Right, sorry, I'm gonna have to pause this. Okay, so I want to test if this will do a... there we go. So if I paint gently, I'll start from the bottom, but I don't like... I shouldn't have used the flat brush, should I? Oh well. You live and learn. How can I make it more interesting? I don't know. Oh, I think I'm gonna mess this up completely. A little bit paler here. Maybe gently touch. Okay. And I think I want to add a little grasses. With a fairly dark mix. Just see if I just flick it a little bit. That's too dark. Oh goodness, nothing is going my way. Okay, maybe let's try this. Kind of want to spread it a little bit as well. That kind of looks like a child did it. Not that children can't paint, definitely can paint better than I can. This is not going too well. I think I'm fussing too much. You know what, I'm just going to, yeah. That looks like water. Oh no, I don't want it to look like water. How can I make it look like grass? I'm gonna have to do this, though, won't I? Or if I just do it at the bottom. Right. Now I should really wait for it to dry. I'm going to start here. There we go, little flicks here and there. That's looking a little better, isn't it? I want to make sure I don't hit a wet spot. I think this probably is wet. Or should I? There we go. Just little flicks here and there. Does it look like grass? A little bit more here maybe. Am I overdoing it? Always. Stop fussing. Stop fussing. I think I'm just gonna leave it like that, or I'll mess it up even more. Okay, yeah, so this one went from pretty to so-so to pretty much disaster. But hey, even so, it's kind of cool, isn't it? Right, time for the next one. Okay, so for the last one, I want to do purple leaves, and we will be painting using different values of purple. So we will start with the pale, a bit like with the mountains earlier. We will also paint with layers. So we'll start with the paler, then a bit darker, and layer with darker, and so on. But also we will be practicing leaf shape. So what I also want to practice is leaving a little bit of white space. I'll show you in a minute. Let me just mix a very pale color. I want to mix quite a lot of a quite pale. So I'll be going between maybe purple and blue, but mostly try to keep it purple. So the round brush is usually the best for leaves actually. We'll start with doing a little bit of a stem thing, and then press down on the belly and then pick it up. There is a loose hair in here, and then I want to leave a little bit of a gap. That's a bit tricky sometimes. A little bit of a gap, but not too big, and then join it and leave the pointy leaf. There we go. So this is what I'll be doing, and we'll just make kind of like this background. So press, lift, leave the white space. Now I left a little bit too much here, I feel. I think I'm just going to gently feel it, but I'm already depositing too much water here. But it's okay. I think I'm okay with it to have a little bit of a interest, and for the wash not to be completely flat, but have a little bit of a variety in it. Just with this one. So a little stamping, press, lift, make sure the leaf is pointy. Leave a little bit of a gap. I find it quite therapeutic, this one, because you kind of need to focus, but it's also, it's kind of like a muscle memory, you know. Once you kind of know how to do it, it's quite nice and easy to practice. I just really like doing this sort of thing. But I will post the video here, and then maybe we'll meet when I do another layer, because I don't want to bore you too much. So I hope you're practicing with me though, and I'll see you soon. I just wanted to quickly jump in and show you this leaf where I didn't actually manage to do the gap, and look how much flatter it looks. Like this little gap creates this lovely highlight, and it just makes it look way more realistic. Even though it's such a tiny thing, it makes such a huge difference. So it's something that's worth remembering when you're painting, to always leave a little bit of a highlight, however you do it. For example, for florals, it makes a huge difference as well, and it's easy to forget. Which actually reminds me that my green flower didn't. I mean, I've tried to do it a little bit with lifting. That's why it looks so much better when I lift it. A bit of a paint. But yeah, generally it's something worth remembering, but also easy to forget. Okay, I think I should probably start adding a little bit darker leaves now. I don't necessarily have to wait for everything to dry. I'm just trying to add the leaves. Well, for now they are not overlapping yet, but I will make sure that when I add new leaves on top of one another, that the one underneath is dry. Oh, I am missing the gap. Okay, I managed to save it a little bit. Right, what shall we do? Let us go here. I think I want to add a little bit more blue, but I don't want to make it too dark. So that's another thing. Oh yes, and also because we're using blue, well, mostly purple and a little bit of blue, that's harmonious colors, so it kind of works, even though the colors themselves are a bit weird for leaves. So all these exercises, even though I chose weird colors, you can practice them with any colors you want. I didn't do the gap again, and I added too much. I think I'm gonna mop this up. Right, so I'm just going to use a dry brush, pick it up a little bit. I just didn't like how this one was just turning out a bit too flat, but I do like a little bit of a variety, like with this one, for example. Right, okay, I'll pause this here again, and I'll meet you when I have a little bit more leaves done. Okay, so now I'm at a stage where I'm unsure whether I should add more. I think I will continue, but just remember this stage in case the rest will go badly, because I worry that I might overdo it, and I worry that I'll make them too dark. Should I mop this up? I think I should. Just a little bit. Okay. I feel like on one hand it would be good to have a little bit more contrast. I also feel like it's a little bit too controlled, like it's too even in places in a way. So it's a stage where I might mess up, but I still think it's useful to just practice your brush work. I think I feel like I need a bit more purple. I do like how this one, how much contrast it adds. We'll see. What do you think? Is this looking better when I'm adding more, or am I doing too much? I quite often found that a lot of my watercolors are a little bit too pale, so a bit of contrast is nice, but I am a little afraid to use dark paint because it's just such a statement. It's something that kind of draws your eye, doesn't it? Is it looking better now, or am I making it worse? So this one doesn't have enough gap, but way better than this one. Well, not way better, just a little bit better, because at least there's a tiny highlight. But I also didn't notice that I literally did them in the same direction. But hey, it shouldn't be like completely, you know, it should be a little bit of a randomness to it, and some of it being similar in some places. I think that's fine. Okay, I'll add maybe a 1 or 2 more dark ones. center somewhere. I need to mop this one again a little bit. Oh, no, come on, a little bit more. Running out of time. There we go. Okay. Right, a few finishing touches. Really nice exercise to just do even every day, just to warm up. Should I add one more? I'll add one more blue one here, and that's it. And I messed it up. Oh well, I still think it's fairly nice for such a simple thing, isn't it? Okay, let's end on this and then let's look at all our results. Okay, so let's see what we ended up creating. A green flower done wet in wet, a blue tree done with a splatter. Then we did a little bit more complicated landscape with using some textures for salt and for the grass that looks a bit more like water. Well, the brush, dry brush technique is good for water as well, so it kind of makes sense. We also did some layered mountains, and we did purple and blue layered flowers, making sure to create highlights as well and using different values. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you do something like this as well. I hope you play with colors and remember to have fun. Don't judge your results, because at the end of the day, if you paint, that's already a success, even if something doesn't turn out the way you want it. I mean, hopefully you can also see by my results that some things look fairly decent and some just kind of fall short in some places. It's normal to have different results, and it's, at the end of the day, it's not really about creating a most amazing perfect painting. It's really to feed your soul, isn't it? So have fun and happy painting.